I wasn't originally paying attention to the drone issue that much. All things being equal, okay, well, there are drones flying in Jersey. So what? But I started to pay more attention to it when I realized somebody is lying. And I was trying to understand why would they lie about something that's just lights in the sky or drones in the sky. I get it's weird, but you know, why the for one, there's been a huge amount of attention from the standpoint of New Jersey. And the people in New Jersey have been asking, okay, well, what is in our skies? Why is it in our skies? And you spend $1 trillion a year on the military. Why don't you know what is in our skies? Now, the federal government says that the electronic equipment wasn't necessarily picking them up. Okay, there's that. Now, and to be honest, some of the flight characteristics are a little weird, especially battery life. These things have started going back to November 17th, I believe. Yeah, so November 18th, they started being spotted over New Jersey skies. And they've been flying every night since, going from dusk to dawn, or dusk to 11 o'clock, which is about what, 7, 8 hours. So these things have been flying in the sky for 7 to 8 hours every day since November 18th. And when you go to the federal government and say, okay, what are they? Federal government says, we don't really know. And more to the point of saying they don't really know, what the federal government is saying is being contradicted by the people on the ground. So, for example, in one instance, the Coast Guard said they were effectively followed by about 20 lights following behind them and harassing the ship. And they identify them as drones. Now, I want to play with John Kirby, prolific liar, sociopath, one of the worst people you would ever meet. However, if you need John Kirby to go out there and lie for you, God knows he is your man. So this is Kirby responding to questions by the press. Because again, people, it is a very weird phenomena when the federal government is effectively saying we have no idea what it is. And yet it's been flying for what, nearly a month. And information. And there's another point to this that I want to point out after this. I want to play Kirby first.
And importantly, there are no reported or confirmed drone sightings in any restricted airspace. I want to go back to something I said at the top. There has been no evidence of any of this activity in or near restricted spaces. And importantly, there are no reported or confirmed drone sightings in any restricted airspace. I want to go back to something I said at the top.
There have been no flights in unrestricted airspace. That is what John Kirby just said. There have been no flights in unrestricted airspace. He was very clear. He didn't stutter. He was very clear and he didn't stutter. And yet, here's this story. Right here. Let me move myself down so this will be larger. There we are. Multiple drones entered New Jersey Naval Station. Official. Let's go down. There have been multiple instances of drones entering the airspace at Navy Weapons Station in New Jersey, officials there said on Friday. And the concern continues to grow over widespread drone sightings in the region. Naval Weapons Station, I think this is Earl, which is located in Colts Neck, New Jersey, said it was, quote, aware, unquote, of the sightings in the region, and, quote, continues to closely coordinate with federal and state agencies to ensure the safety of our personnel and operations. All right. Here's another one. Drones reported over second New Jersey military facility. Navy says. At least 2 drones were spotted above another military base in New Jersey during the recent surge in unexplained sightings across Navy officials said. Okay, so what is John Kirby talking about then? And why is there a discrepancy between John Kirby and the Navy personnel at those bases or the people at those bases. That's not weird, especially if we're talking about something that's just drones flying over New Jersey. That seems strange to me. That seems very strange to me. So the story that became, okay, with their drones flying in the sky, ended up becoming, okay, why is the federal government saying something dishonest in this moment? Here's another one, though. This is John Kirby, once again. Again, sociopath, prolific liar, saying this.
Around New Jersey. Now, finally, I just want to add a few comments on the reports of drone activity here on the East Coast, particularly in and around New Jersey. We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or a public safety threat, or have a foreign nexus. The Department of Homeland Security and the FBI are investigating these sightings, and they're working closely with state and local law enforcement to provide resources using numerous detection methods to better understand their origin. Using very sophisticated electronic detection technologies provided by federal authorities, we have not been able to, and neither have state or local law enforcement authorities, corroborate any of the reported visual sightings. To the contrary, upon review of available imagery, it appears that many of the reported sightings are actually manned aircraft that are being operated lawfully. The United States Coast Guard is providing support to the state of New Jersey and has confirmed that there is no evidence of any foreign-based involvement from coastal vessels. And importantly, there are no reported or confirmed drone sightings in any restricted airspace. Now, that said, we certainly take seriously the threat that can be posed by unmanned aircraft systems, which is why law enforcement and other agencies continue to support New Jersey and investigate the reports, even though they have uncovered no malicious activity or intent at this particular stage.
All right. Again, he points out no restricted airspace, which I just showed you is not the case. It's been at the very least 2 military bases. So there's that. Okay, somebody's being dishonest in this case. In the other case, he's saying these are manned vehicles. Well, again, the people, the Coast Guard, who is being quote unquote harassed, as they call it, are very specific, saying these were drones. These were about 20 of them flying behind in formation, harassing the vehicle. In another situation, you had a helicopter pilot that was over one. This one was about 6 feet, as they call it in the article, 6 feet drones or whatever. I guess this was one that they repetitively saw over and over again. But the closer he got to it, the lights were cut out. In which case, the helicopter pulled back because they were concerned about the safety. Basically, they didn't know if they're going to run into it or anything else. So people have been seeing these things over all of New Jersey, and they're giving a different story and analysis, or at the very least what they've seen, than John Kirby, who's saying that these are man-made or man-flown vehicles in one case, and that they haven't entered restricted airspace in the other. And so again, why are they so confused? Or is somebody lying? Which one is it? Now, they're very clear that these are not foreign actors. This is not Iran. There's no mothership off the coast of our shores. There's nothing like that. And it's not a foreign adversary. So then my first thought was, okay, well, are these military vessels? Well, they say no. These are also not military planes or military vehicles. Now, some of the people who got a briefing on this said that Kirby and what they told him is different. And they're curious as to why there's a difference. Basically, is Kirby lying? Now, again, as I pointed out, Kirby is a prolific liar. So if you needed somebody to go out there and do it, him, Count Dracula, Matt Miller, or that chubby one Patel, all of these people are great at giving the government line or whatever the government line is, however it contradicts reality. And so again, we seem to end up with a mystery. Now, there is a close-up of one of the drones. And I have to say one of the drones because it seemed that there could be many variations of it, meaning there's been multiple pictures of these things, and some of these things look different. This particular one, however, is a rather close-up picture of it. Let's pop to it. This, and this. All right, this was someone that somebody took in their yard, apparently, at home. They zoom in, they see it. There it is, drone. We're in Jersey. We're off to the races. Initially, it looks almost round, but the closer it gets, it no longer looks round, it looks triangular. I mean, it doesn't look big enough for somebody to be flying, and it almost looks like a boomerang, right? Yeah, it looks like a boomerang. I mean, the thing is, lighting can give a false impression when you're far away, but that was actually relatively close. Let's look at it again. Initially, I thought, okay, well, it looks like more like a plane, but if you look at the back, it doesn't look like it has a back to it. It looks like a boomerang. Yeah, it looks like a boomerang. Unless there's something else back there that's just darker than the rest of the plane, like the lights are illuminating one part. There's no lights on the back, so you can't really see the back. I'm not sure, but it's either a triangle or a boomerang. And as for the size, it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, it doesn't look huge at that distance. So if that's the quote unquote 6-foot one that they're referring to, I don't know. I mean, the fact of the matter is, if that is what they're referring to, that thing has been flying over Jersey the last nearly a month and has the ability to hang into the air about 6 to 7 hours or 6 to 8 hours. They were pointing out that that's a hell of a battery life for something to be able to do. Now, the other question becomes, okay, well, why are they there? Why are they flying over New Jersey? What are they trying to accomplish in doing this? Certainly, if it's somebody who's flying them, they know the media reports at this point have paid attention to it. And if it's a person doing it, how are they doing it with this many drones at once? Is it multiple drones? Meaning, is it different variations of those things? And honestly, is it a drone at all? What Kirby may be saying is some of the pictures that they were sent were airplanes. And Kirby, being Kirby, might have focused on those as opposed to some of the other items that were more suspicious in their nature. And again, the question ends up being, what does Kirby know? What does the White House know? And why are the stories being contradicted by the people who are watching these things on the ground or in some of the images that are coming out? I don't believe for a moment that the Coast Guard is lying about the fact that they were being followed and harassed, especially since it was corroborated by the Coast Guard itself, meaning it wasn't just one guy saying it. It was the Coast Guard saying, yes, this happened, this happened. This is what we saw. We were being harassed by drones. That's mystery, right? Donald Trump comes out, coming up with the popular mantra at this point: shoot him down. Shoot him down. That's what Trump said, shoot him down. He said mystery drone sightings all over the country. Can this really be happening without government's knowledge? I don't think so. Let the public know, and now, otherwise, shoot him down. And this shoot him down refrain is something that is apparently being picked up. And there have been reportings of people shooting at the drones in New Jersey when they're going by effectively trying to shoot them down. Now, shooting them down is not necessarily insane. I mean, if you think about it, if it's a foreign adversary, okay, well, you shouldn't be in airspace. Sad day for you if those things get shut down. If it is somebody who is a recreational drone flyer and they're just doing this for public effect, sad day for you. You're doing it for public effect. Okay? You got the public to act. If it's aliens, you're going to miss. So, no harm, no foul. Um, Now, the rub is it the government? Meaning, is this a program that Kirby just doesn't want to talk about or can't talk about? Now, again, the government has explicitly said this is not us. Okay, but it's something. I mean, you can't tell me that it's not the government. It's not a foreign actor. It's not aliens. What is it? I mean, is it just a group of people, a group of drone operators that come together in order to pull this kind of psyop on the American public? I guess it's possible. People could come together to do all sorts of things. But if that's true, the fact that they were over the military base is somewhat of an issue, right? I mean, these are sensitive, restricted spaces. And we have just been alerted to the fact that drone swarms that have been all over New Jersey, some of which have shown an interest in the military bases. If it goes into a military base, you have every right in the world to shoot it down. Now, the White House at this point has resisted doing so. Now, the catch becomes, if you do that, what happens if one of those things are a plane and you shoot down an airplane by accident? So that's dodgy, right? Now, the latest news is that there's been a crash, apparently. And New Jersey has swarmed to the crash site to get their hands on the remnants of the drone.
Heard a drone crash somewhere behind where I'm standing.
A major response from authorities that could be related to an incident involving a drone. It is happening in Hillsborough, New Jersey. Fox 5's Stephanie Bertini is live from that scene. Stephanie, obviously so much frustration about what is even happening in the skies above us. So this might be a big answer.
Yeah, Bianca, I talked to several people who tell us they heard a drone crash somewhere behind where I'm standing. We're working to get that information confirmed with officials. Our chopper has been flying over the area this morning. I've been here all morning, including Hills.
I don't want my channel demonetized on this video. I'm trying to see if they show any other footage. No, they are not. All right, fair enough. This is probably the best that we get. Yeah, it's a legit mystery. I don't know. I don't have an answer. It could be the government running a psyop. It looks like something we made. So, it looks like a boomerang drone or a boomerang plane of some sort. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, honestly, don't know. I mean, the rumor mill, and I'll put this in the rumor mill category, is saying that something is being planned, something is coming. That it's not just the drones, it's also things that are like launches, reconnaissance, some kind of exercise that's planned coming soon, and that all of these things are correlated with that. I have no idea. I have no idea. I would say it is weird. And again, if it's nothing, then the government makes it look like something by having this contradictory back and forth where it doesn't necessarily seem they understand what's going on, or at the very least understand it and don't want to communicate it. I don't know which it is. At this point, I'm paying attention to it. I'm curious. But it did look like a boomerang. And just show it one more time. So, it is a decent video of it. So I definitely wanted to show it, considering it got my interest. Again, family house. Now, if you're looking at it from a particular angle, you might say, okay, well, that's around craft or around vehicle of some sort. And yeah, it doesn't look big enough, but again, distance. can be off-putting. But the closer it gets, it's clearly triangular. And it has beeping lights like something you would put on a vehicle that we make. So right there. So yeah, it looks like a triangle. It looks like there's something back there with a triangular front with lights coming all the way around. Now, I will tell you, in UFO literature, there is something that looks like this. But in the UFO literature, it's something we made. Come on, I'm trying to get the light. Yeah, there's something back there. I was trying to get it where I can see the light, see if it illuminates the back end. I think what's going on is the lights on the front, giving the perspective as if it's a boomerang. But you can't really see anything in the back. That's just because there's no lights on the back to illuminate it. But if it did, it looked like this would be a baggage, almost like a wing design. Yeah, it looks like a wing. Now, again, there were multiple versions of these things. And so, is this the version that everyone is talking about? I don't know. Here is one of the sites that was covering this, and they have a picture of various versions of these. Come on. Okay, my system is freezing. That's great. Come on, come on. Okay, there we are. All right, so that's one. That looks more like a helicopter. Okay, screw this. I'll kill this page. No, don't wait. Just exit. You suck. You suck. Your page sucks. All right. But yeah. So I'm going to end this here. I didn't mean to keep this long. It's interesting. It has gotten a lot of attention. I like the, UFO angle stuff, so I wanted to be a little bit more interesting, which is the reason why I didn't really cover it. I just assumed somebody is playing around with drones. But at this point, with the federal government having got involved and started making commentary on it, and you've had senators or Congress members come out saying, "Well, the Iranians have the mothership on our coast. The Iranians," which sounds absurd to me, but okay. It is very weird that they don't know what this is. It is very weird that radar can't necessarily pick it up or interact with it. And maybe it's too small for the radar to interact with, so it doesn't necessarily have a huge footprint in regards to radar. But it should have a footprint. I mean, it's radar. We've spent $1 trillion in our military. Certainly, we can build a decent radar. And under normal circumstances, at least according to the reading, it should be able to pick it up. And so, either we're not being told something, or they're just confused. I don't know what it is. But when the stories contradict like that, it piques interest. And I guess I will be following the story as it goes. I'm going to say like, share. It's Uranus. Or, they used to say swamp gas. Swamp gas. All right. Oh, by the way, if you guys like this content and you find yourself coming back here often, meaning if this voice often is in your ear, definitely consider giving to the channel in order to help support the content. You can do so through PayPal, Patreon, or Super Chats. We also have memberships, it's just me, also have memberships now that you can join to be a member to the channel. I want to thank all the members of the Thomas family who have joined this enterprise, I call it that. This is still a much better show. But look, like it, share it, subscribe to it. I'm trying to get to 40K by the end of the year. I am on path to be that or to get there. And damn it, I believe we can do it. Just confidence. You all have a fantastic night. I don't know if I'm going to see you anymore tonight, but we'll see depending upon what's out there in regards to stories, if it piques my interest. Have a good one all. Be safe.